you gotta be prepared for God to come in and start shifting things, moving things around, and potentially turning all your plans upside down. Hey everyone, and welcome in. My name is Talu, and on this channel I make faith-based videos to encourage you as you fight the good fight of the faith daily. Today we are going to be talking about how to live your best life, also known as how to live in God's will for your life, okay? And I'll be sharing from my personal understanding on what exactly that means and looks like. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So whether you've grown up in church or not, I'm sure at some point you've heard someone say, "Lord, let your will be done." And if we take a look at what a will is, it's defined as the faculty by which a person decides on and initiates action. It's also defined as the thing that one desires or ordains. So when someone says, "Lord, let your will be done," they're essentially saying, "Lord, let what you want to be done." You are the faculty that can decide and initiate action. And now, why is this important, right? Like, why is it important that God calls the shots? Jesus says in Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, he says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven." That kind of helps to put some weight behind it, right? But also, if you think about it, as our creator, God knows us better than we could ever know ourselves. And I believe that he designed each of us uniquely the way we are for a specific purpose. And so when it comes to living our best lives and living in our purpose, I believe that that can only happen once we, understand what God's will and purpose is for our lives and start aligning with it. But now let's dive a little deeper and ask, okay, so what exactly does it look like to start aligning with God's will in our day-to-day lives, right? I think the fact that we're given free will in a world where there are endless possibilities and options can make trying to figure out what God's will is a very intimidating task. But that's why I love Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6, which says, "Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take." Another translation says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." I used to think that I just had to know what the right thing to do was and stay perfectly aligned with the path that I thought God was calling me to walk on. But now I know that there is no way that I can walk in line with God's will without his help to guide and redirect me whenever I veer off the path. That's why I love this verse. It tells us that even if our path is getting to be really jagged and messy and we're speeding all the way west when we're supposed to be going northeast, once we start to acknowledge him and seek his will, he will start to straighten out our paths. But now, one thing I've learned from praying this verse is that you gotta be prepared for the potential redirection. For example, if you're dating someone or you're getting ready to move to a new city or you're thinking about getting into business with somebody, like whatever it might be, if you're moving in a way that you feel is right, but then you start asking God that his will be done and not yours, you gotta be prepared for God to come in and start shifting things, moving things around, and potentially turning all your plans upside down. I really want to encourage you to try to embrace this process of God making your path straight. And remember that God's will for your life is the best way that your life could unfold, even if it doesn't feel like that in the moment. I love how Jesus models this for us throughout the Gospels. He is constantly telling his disciples that his purpose is to do the will of the one who sent him, which is his Father in heaven. And that meant that even when the time came for him to be crucified, even though he didn't want to go through with it and he found himself praying in Matthew chapter 26, verse 39, saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me," he immediately follows it by saying, "Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." And it turns out that him humbling himself in this way and ultimately seeking God's will led to him dying a death that he didn't deserve. But it is only through his death that you and I can now find our salvation. And now Jesus is sitting at the right hand of glory, big chillin'. So in the moment, what God is doing might be extremely challenging, but as Romans chapter 8, verse 28 reminds us, God is working all things together for the good of those that love him and are called according to his purpose. I know that after this example with Jesus, praying that God's will be done might seem like a very scary thing, but please be encouraged and remember that God is on our side and He's fighting for us and not against us, okay? If you're looking for a practical way to start incorporating this prayer into your daily lives, Jesus is so kind as to give us a great example. He says in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, He says, "Pray then like this, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." It continues on a little farther than this, but even if it's just this first little bit that you start to pray, I'm sure you'll start to see God move and begin to straighten out your path. I really hope this video encouraged you and helped you understand how you can start aligning yourself with God's will and start living your best life. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever experienced God changing your plans and redirecting you after praying that His will be done, but now you see that it was for your good all along. And until next time, let's keep fighting the good fight of the faith, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!